আজকে আমরা কথা বলবো আইএলটিএস নিয়ে। আইএলটিএস পুরো ফর্মটা হলো ইংলিশ ইন্টারন্যাশনাল ইংলিশ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ টেস্টিং সিস্টেম. So there are two kinds of IELTS exist, or maybe three kinds of, but basically most of the students go for two modules, which is academic and the another is general. So if somebody wants to go for study purpose to abroad, definitely they have to take the academic one. On the other hand, if they choose to take IELTS for immigration purpose, for example, definitely they have to go for the IELTS general. So there are basically four parts in IELTS, which is listening, reading, speaking and writing. So first I would like to talk about something about IELTS speaking. So in IELTS speaking there are three parts, okay? The part one is all about you. Like there will be no rocket science. Like part one for me is the easiest part because it basically deals with you, like your like what you like, what you dislike, like your, for example, what you did when you was a child, something like that. So yeah, you have to be on point, and whenever you are saying something, try to give some examples. For example, if the examiner asks me like, do you like cooking? And I can say definitely I love cooking because it really helps me to reduce my stress level, and whenever I get free time I try to cook something. So you can explain why you love cooking. Just don't say yes I do like cooking, because you have to give the examiner content or a language. Based on that they will give you a score, right? If you don't give them enough content, even if you are a good speaker and you have a good conversational like a spoken English, they will not understand. So part two is will be cue card. The examiner will give you one cue card, and based on the topic you have to talk about 2 minutes, okay? Some students really frighten this particular task because they think that they cannot able to speak for about 2 minutes, and you will have some room. The examiner can understand this is a weird situation, because in a day-to-day conversation basically what we do, we always have a conversation with the other person, but here you are giving just monologue for 2 minutes. So they will understand that, and all you have to do is you have to tell some stories. If you just focus on the facts, it will not work. You have to be innovative, you have to tell some stories, because whenever you try to tell some personal anecdotes, 2 minutes will go in the blink of an eye, trust me. And the part three is, for me, part three is the hardest part, to be very honest, because it requires analytical ability up to a certain extent, because in the part three they will ask you opinion based questions. For example, is it bad or good? If you just say that I believe it is good, that is not a proper answer. You have to back things up. You have to give some examples, for example, and you can give, but I just forgot to mention, don't say any personal things in part 3, because it's not about your personal thing. It's about general thing, abstract things. You can say about your country's people around the world, but definitely don't come to your personal stories. So yeah, this is the speaking part. But by the way, it will run for 11 to 14 minutes. It depends on the examiner how long they want to take it, and that's it. And there are 4 criteria. Based on that you will be mark 1. One is fluency and coherence, how logical you are while you are speaking, and how fluent you are while you are speaking. And the part 2 and another part is fluency, pronunciation. If the examiner can understand you or not, that's it. It don't have to be a British. You don't have to have a British accent, American accent. Forget about it. As long as the examiner can understand you, you are good to go. And another way is fluency, coherence, pronunciation, and grammar and vocab. And yeah, these two it requires time to improve, to be very honest, but on the other hand, fluency and pronunciation you can improve within a short period of time, trust me. And okay, the second module is listening. So when it comes to listening, most of the people find this easier because we are living in a modern era. We are really used to English movies and stuff like that. So in listening there are 4 parts. The part 1 deals with like there will be 2 person. It's a conversation basically. Like if you go to a coffee shop, you order a coffee, what kinds of conversation you have with the buyers or with the shoppers, these kinds of things. It's like yeah. And part 2 is a monologue. So for example, if you go to a visit to a museum, maybe the museum owner will give you a monologue of how you will use the museum things, how to buy tickets, this kinds of stuff. And the part 3 is also it's a conversation, but it's academic one. So basically there will be a lecturer, maybe they are talking about with their students, and the students asking about their assignments, thesis, statements, these kinds of things. And the part 2 is another monologue, but this is again it's in an academic context. So there are, it sounds easier, but there are different parts, different types of questions. So chances are you will find some question types really harder than the other one, so you have to focus on those things. Trust me, like whenever, for example, there will be 40 questions. So out of 40, how much you are getting, based on that, you will be mark 1. For example, maybe you are getting 25 out of 40. So you have to focus on the 15 questions that you that got incorrect. Like if you can focus on that, next day maybe you will get 27, next, and another day 30. Some people, what they do, like they are doing mock test after mock test, after. This is not a great way to improvement. Whenever you finish one practice test, try to find out your mistakes, work on that, and then go for the next test. Otherwise, you will keep repeating the same mistakes again and again. And reading, reading, you have to deal with 40 questions again. There will be 3 passages, there will be 40 questions again, and there will be same kind of different question types you have to deal with. My suggestion will be the same, like you have to focus on the different question types, try to learn from your mistakes, and try to improve. And another one is writing. For writing, lots of people struggles with writing because they just don't know how to improve. They think that, okay, if I use high level vocab, like lots of complex grammar, then I will get good score. This is a pretty wrong concept. You have to write, keep the reader in mind. If the reader can't understand your essay in the first go, that means you are not a good writer. Try to always keep in mind that if the reader finds it easier while they are reading your script, that means you have a good writing. So try to focus on clarity and rather than complexity. Trust me, and this is the secret of getting a good band score in writing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. I think we will have fun.